Hi guys, so today is going to be a really long video. I will do my best to make it short and sweet, but we're going to go through my eyeshadow palette collection, which is the biggest part of my entire... My cat just jumped up on the table. Hello, Pumbaa. Welcome to my world. Can you please, like, Pumbaa, no one wants to see your butt. I promise. Okay. Okay, so I have like a giant like light right here, and he's literally just like staring in the light on my desk. Hold on. He's not gonna be happy about this. Thank you. My lord, I can never have a video filmed normally. Anyway, so I have a bunch of eyeshadow palettes. We're going to go through them. I'm going to have to do it like this style instead of me sitting on the floor, because the way my ring light is, it's not going to bend down to film. So we're just going to have to do it like this and hope that y'all can see it. Alright. So the first one is the Makeup Revolution. This is the VIP palette. This is a neutral warm palette. I've hit pan in 2 of the shades. Not my favorite quality. The shimmers don't really like to pick up well, even when you use your finger. So this is one of those I'm going to use up, and then I probably would not repurchase this palette. I don't even know if it's still available, to be completely honest. So I'm going to have palettes piling up everywhere because I'm going to have to bend down and get in the drawers. This is going to be an interesting video. Alright, the next one is by Seraphine Botanicals. This is the Sakura and Sage palette. It comes with blush. I think these are both blushes because this is kind of orangey, and then some eyeshadows, which I haven't really used this one that much either. Then I have the ColourPop My Little Pony palette. This palette's pretty old, but it still performs pretty well. I've got to scoot up. I can't see. I've hit pan in this shade. This is the shade I used on my lid today. I don't understand this color story. It's really kind of random in my opinion. But the packaging is super cute. This is in a pan matte palette. I'm going to try to use this one up. The ones I have on my desk right now are the ones I'm trying to use up and get out of my collection so I can either repurchase them or get something completely different. This is the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette, one of my favorite neutral palettes. I don't even have that shade anymore. I'm getting ready to hit pan in the gold and in the burgundy, but I love this neutral palette. She did such a good job with this. Honestly, this is a great palette. Alright, the next is the LA Girl Nudist palette. I do not like this palette at all. The mattes are okay, you guys. Like, I hit pan in this shade. I'm getting ready to hit pan in that shade. Sorry, you can see the ring light. But these shimmers are horrible. They are so bad. They do not pick up at all, and they don't even stay on the lid. Like, if you are looking for something that you're going to be able to see 3 hours, 4 hours, 8, 10, 15 hours later, this ain't it. It's really bad. I don't like it. I'm kind of glad it's in the pan, the palette. This is the Lorac Pro Mini. I've also hit pan in shades. Hit pan in this shade and that. Also getting ready to hit pan in those. It's just a cute little like mini travel size neutral palette. Alright, the next is the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air. I do not like the packaging on this. Sorry. I hit pan in the cream shade, of course. I always hit pan in the white, so the cream's first. I just use them. But this is a dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. It's a good palette. I just don't reach for it. And the plastic packaging, I'm just not a fan of plasticky, like, thick, cheap packaging. I personally prefer cardboard packaging. I really do. Like, this is a cardboard packaging. I prefer this kind. This is the Alchemist palette by Kat Von D. It is, with shades. These are really good, like, toppers if you want to transform, like, the color of your eyeshadow. These are really good. I don't think this is still available. I really don't. This was like a limited edition thing. Next we have the Lorac Pro Mega 4. This is a palette I use every day. I'm trying to pan it out. It's hard to do. And that is what it looks like. So hit pan in 1, 2, 3 shades. Getting ready to hit pan in the blue, this kind of light brown color. But this is very much well used because it is in my Pan That palette. So once this palette is used up, I will get rid of it, get out of my collection. It was just something that I honestly never reached for, and that's why I put it in the Pan That palette, so I could force myself, you need to use this, Jamie. And it worked. I've been using it ever since. Then I have this Cargo palette, Enjoy Every Moment. This is a neutral palette. This was also gifted to me by one of you guys, one of my subscribers. The brush is in my little brush collection, but this is just a nice and little neutral palette. Next is Blue Blood, which is actually not what I'm wearing on my eyes. I'm actually wearing that Lorac palette and the My Little Pony palette. But this is the Blue Blood. Trying to use this up. You guys have no idea. If you, well, I guess you do. If you have Jeffree Star eyeshadow palettes, like, how hard is it to actually pan out a Jeffree Star eyeshadow palette? Like, it's hard. So that's what the blue one looks like. I love the packaging on this, but it is super big and bulky. Kind of a pain in the butt. Next on my desk, I have the Ulta Beauty. This is a Z palette. So this just has single shadows in it. The green ones are Makeup Geek, then obviously Jeffree Star. These right here are Mary Kay, which I really, you guys, I've been getting into the Mary Kay formula. I know a lot of people don't support Mary Kay because it's a multi-level marketing company. I don't really give a crap, honestly. If it's good, it's good. I'm starting to really enjoy their eyeshadow formula. Like, I'm starting to, like, really get into it. Then I have just some pressed glitters. These are from Dear Katie Brown, and then some ColourPop shades. I think the blue and that, like, reddish color are from Kylie. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I'm going to start getting into my drawers. These were just the palettes I had on my desk, which I'm having a hard time getting back in. The little palette holder. Goodness gracious. It's always a struggle with me, honestly, you guys. But anyway, I'm going to see what I can do. We're going to have palettes kind of piling up, but it's just going to be what it is. Alright. Okay. Here we go. Oh my god. I have so many palettes. I have so many palettes. This is a problem. This is why I do Pan That palette, because I have to get rid of some. I have to, like, force myself to use palettes. Okay, so I'm going to go with a couple that I have, like, multiples of, and that is the Jeffree Star. I've got 2 of these mini orgy palettes. This is what that looks like. I have literally 2 of them. They're the same, but I'll show you side by side. So one of them I purchased, and then one of them my friend sent me. So I have literally 2 of them. But that's okay, because I do love having neutrals, and especially if it's a palette that I really like, I don't mind having 2 of them at all. Same with the mini breaker. My friend sent me this one, and then my other friend actually sent me this one, which I haven't touched. So I have 2 mini breakers, which is good because I love purple and pink and colorful eyeshadows. So I don't mind having 2, guys. It's totally fine. Oh boy. Okay, I'm just going to grab a bunch of shadows in, like, no particular order. Alright, let's do some Natasha Denona. This is the mini Lila, whatever you want to call it, palette. These retail, I believe, for $25 for the minis. Super tiny, like, it's about the size of a nickel, but super cute if you want to travel. This particular one, not my favorite formula, just gonna be honest. I don't have any of the bigger Natasha Denonas, but that's okay, they're expensive. Then I have the Peak palette, which this was a BoxyCharm exclusive, which these retail for $50, I believe. I love this gold shade. It is gorgeous. And of course, the creams. Like, yes. And then this is the Aina palette. I haven't used this yet. But neutrals. I love neutrals. I don't know why. I love neutrals, pinks, purples, and greens. That's my colors. Alright, then this is a Kylie palette. This is the doesn't say palette. Doesn't even say. And oh, this is the Sort of Sweet palette, which I like because you kind of have like a mauve right here, some creams, and then browns. Like, I love this. Ugh, gotta adjust. Alright, this is the, oh lord, this is by Cella, and this is the La Vie Natural palette. I don't know how to say that, but that's pretty. I don't like these little brushes. Like these little really tiny ones, I don't need that. They can go bye-bye. So yeah, that gold is gorgeous. A light cream color, a white, and a brown. I actually use that more than I thought I would. Next is the Kat Von D Shade and Light. This is the one in the plastic packaging, not the cardboard. I really do enjoy this palette. I'm not even gonna lie. Matte browns are awesome. I love matte browns. And to have light colors makes my life just great. The only thing I don't like about this is it's powdery. It's a very powdery formula. Pigmented, but powdery. But I use it. Next one I have is from OPV Beauty. This is the Spotlight eyeshadow palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I haven't touched it yet. But it's got the greens, the purples, the blues. So I'm excited to try this. This is actually like a really pretty palette. There's not a lot of mattes in here though. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 7 mattes and the rest is shimmers. Okay, moving on. Just grab another stack of palettes. Alright, oh, hair. Next is the Juvia's Place The Violets. This is a gorgeous. I love purples. This is gorgeous. Juvia's Place has some really amazing shimmers. Like their shimmer formula is just spot on. The mattes, I personally am not the biggest fan of. I don't think they're very easy to work with, I guess you could say. But the shimmers though, like, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Next I have the Lime Crime Venus 3, which is my pinks. Of course, I love pinks. I think this is the only Lime Crime palette that I own. I'm pretty sure. Next is Violet Voss Berry Burst, and this is the palette I like to travel with. It's super, you know, it's tiny. You can fit it in a makeup bag, no problem. It's great. You get neutrals and you get very warm tone colors. I think this is a great palette, especially for traveling. It's like my go-to travel palette. Then I have the Kylie Jenner. This is the, what is this? This is Calm Before the Storm, I think. This is the one she did before Stormy was born. Pastel mattes, pastel shimmers. Mattes, love. The shimmers, they're a little bit of a pain to work with. Like this purple is just, I got hard pan in it, just not my favorite. But the mattes I do enjoy. It's one of the few pastel palettes I have, so that's why it kind of stuck around. Next I have the ColourPop Wet palette. I will never get rid of this. This is a collab with Bretman Rock, and it has blues. Blues, and this I can't talk today. This silver is one of the best silvers I have ever worked with. I think that silver is phenomenal. I will actually swatch this. Yeah. Like, hello! I just, It's so good! Now I have to get a makeup wipe. I will never get rid of that palette, you guys, just because of that silver. Like, even if I hated every single shade in the palette, which I don't, I still want to get rid of it because of that silver. That is just, oh, it makes me happy. And I do like how he included some neutrals. That was pretty nice. Alright, next I have some Too Faced. This is, again, These are my favorite from Too Faced, these little berry eyeshadow palettes. This one's probably my most used, which is the Razzle Dazzle Berry. I love the formula of the shimmers. They're like squishy and soft and smooth, and they're easy to apply, like blend like a dream. Great. So this one's my favorite, and it smells like berries, so of course. Then the Sparkling Pineapple, which is the neutrals. Again, look, the shimmers are just so smooth. The mattes, just Too Faced did a great job when they created the berry palettes. Their other stuff, not exactly the biggest fan, but like these two, and there's another one I don't have, I think it's the papaya one. I wish they would like keep these around. I'm not even sure if these are available anymore. Alright, next I have the ColourPop Meant to Be palette, one of my favorite light green palettes. I'll do it this way. I bought the whole collection of this because I love green eyeshadows, so I got like the, what are they called? These things, hold on. Oh, I got the Super Shock Shadows from that collection. I bought the whole thing, and then these Glitterly Obsessed. Bought it with the palette because I loved this whole collection. So, love that palette. Alright, let's grab some more. This is gonna be a long video. Oh my god. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't help it. Alright. Oh, and my hair's getting in the way. The next palettes I have are by SheGlam, which is the Shein makeup brand, which I love. They dupe a lot of palettes. This is the Desert palette, which is personally my favorite of the two that I own. The shimmers, I personally think, for this being only $6 for 9 shades, you guys, you can't go wrong with these. I will recommend these 1,000 times over. These palettes, these 9-pan palettes from Shein and SheGlam are just phenomenal. Then this is the Breeze palette, which is a little bit more colorful. Just like look at the reflection of the shimmers. It's just, they're so good. I love them. I love them! Next I have Beauty Bakery Breakfast in Bed. I hated this palette at first, and then I started to use it, and I enjoyed it. Especially that burgundy shade. The shimmers were pretty good. I think they weren't the best, but they were pretty good. This is more of like a fall time palette for me, honestly, so I'll probably bring this out when it gets a little cooler outside. Next is another Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian. This is the darker neutrals. Again, shimmer formula phenomenal. The mattes were pretty good in this. I just don't like the Juvia's Place like colored matte formula, like the greens, the purples, the blues, but the neutrals are really good in mattes for them. Same with the shimmers. I'm just kind of weird, I guess, but oh no. Next is Marc Jacob. This is the 790 Fantasine palette. I don't know. And it's pinks. The only Marc Jacobs palette I own, and I think I am going to try to pan this one out pretty soon because I have had it for a while and I haven't used it. It's sad. Next is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. This is probably my least favorite Too Faced palette, which has the shimmers. I know a lot of people love this. I just could not make this work to save my life. The purple was horrible, the pink was horrible, the green was horrible. I did not enjoy some of the shimmers in this. The neutrals, the brown shimmers were good, but I don't know. So this may be on the chopping block soon as well, honestly. It smells good, it smells like chocolate, have to give them that. Another Too Faced palette, this is the I Want Candy. This was a really good collab, honestly, and it's good. It's good. One of my favorite shades is actually the Sugar Plum shade, this kind of purpley color, and I do love how you got your creams and you have a highlight shade in here as well. Packaging, annoying as crap. Like, I'm not even kidding, that packaging makes me want to throw it across the room. I don't like the packaging. Next I have a Hip Dot palette. This is the Zion palette. This is so good. This was one of my favorite palettes I got in BoxyCharm. It's got the purples, the pinks, the reds. So good. This palette actually makes me want to buy more Hip Dot palettes. I just have not gotten around to do that. But this is a good palette. I actually use that a lot. Next is one of my favorite palettes, like ever. And they don't make this one anymore, which makes me sad. But this is the Lolita palette by Kat Von D before she sold her brand. And I love this palette. I love how it goes from light to dark. That makes me so happy. And the mattes in this are phenomenal. If y'all can find this, like on Depop or Mercari or Poshmark, you should seriously get it. I love this palette so much. The pigmentation is spot on. They blend wonderful and they're smooth. They're soft. So, one of my favorite palettes. I don't use it that much because I can't like go on Sephora and get it again. I would have to go to like Depop and see if I can find it. It's okay though, it's fine. Ugh. This is just one drawer, you guys. Like all of this was in one drawer. All right, making some progress. Next is the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. This was also gifted to me by a subscriber and my best friend. That is what that looks like. Love the soft white cream mattes. They make me happy. Let's do the Laura Lee ones. Alright, next I have a couple Laura Lee palettes. This one is the Party Animal palette. This was the bright colored shadows. Not my favorite formula, but it's workable. But that's right. But right. Then we have the Boss Babe, which is another go-to travel palette for me. I do use the heck out of this because of the neutrals. It's gorgeous. She did a good job with these. And it's sleek, it's easy to use, take it anywhere. Alright, next is a holiday release from her. This is the Sleigh Bell, which the color story is kind of random to me, but it's got a cream. Anything with a cream color makes me happy. But the color story is a little random. Not gonna lie. Alright, next I have, this is the LA Colors Nudes Palettes. I haven't even used this, honestly. Have I? No, I haven't even used it, but it's neutrals. I should probably bring that out and try to use that. Next is NYX Ultimate Edit Palette. This is the darker, warmer tone shades. The burgundies, the reds, the dark brown. Again, not a fan of like the drugstore plastic packaging. Kind of bothers me. Alright, Makeup Revolution Soph palette. This was my favorite of the Sophie release, whatever. I actually put this in a giveaway a couple times. I went out and bought this palette because I love it. It's honestly a good palette. I actually am getting ready to hit pan in that shade, y'all. Wow. So that's what that looks like. I think you can still get this one too. I know she has a Makeup Revolution and there's a Soph Spice palette, but this was the first one. Next is the BH Carly Bible. I have got to force myself to use this, y'all. This was in a pan, that palette, and I took it out because I had so many palettes. I just don't reach for palettes that have like highlighters or bronzers or blushes, and I wish I did. I wish I did. Eyeshadows are gorgeous. They perform well. The highlighters are phenomenal. I just don't really reach for it. It bothers me. Wish I did. Oh, another Laura Lee palette. Laura Lee Cat's Pajamas. This was her first palette she ever released, which is, it's like an OG. I mean, I definitely go back to this palette. Cream shade. This shade In One Ear is really good. It's a nice burgundy, quirky. It's another burgundy maroon color, I guess you could say. But this was her original, which I really loved. I really did. All right. More toothpaste. Oh, more Too Faced palettes. I'm running out of room. Too Faced Sweet Peach. This is also on the chopping block because I've had it literally forever. I need to use the shades in this. I'm pretty sure this was also gifted to me by a friend. But it still smells like peaches. But I need to force myself to use that one. My most used of the chocolate bar is the semi-sweet. Gotta do it that way. It's really hard to kind of show palettes this way. The shade Nougat. I love this freaking shade. I love that Nougat shade with my whole heart. Bonbon right here is really good, and I do like the bigger pans in the cream shades. But this is definitely, of the chocolate bars, my most used, 100%. But my favorite is the Too Faced White Chocolate, which is like an unpopular opinion because nobody liked this palette, and I did. Because the shades were so light, and it was different. Like, this color story to me was really different, especially from Too Faced. So I really loved this. I know a lot of people didn't, but it was my favorite. I'm like, why didn't y'all like that? Next we have some Tarte. I've got the series. So the first one is the regular Tartelette, which is the all mattes. Definitely good, great formula. I do love Tarte's formula. I feel like they don't get a lot of love anymore, but they make good products. Then Tartelette in Bloom. This has a couple shimmers in it. Like, this is a shimmer, this is a shimmer, this is a shimmer. But it is a similar color story to the all matte one. It is kind of similar as far as the browns go, but I like it. And then my favorite is the Toasted, the warm brown neutrals. And to me it smells like chocolate. May just be me though, I don't know. Next I have these Too Faced palettes, which is the Just Peachy Mattes. I used to use this a lot, and now I don't really reach for it. And I need to bring it out. And it smells like peaches. I actually, another unpopular opinion, I prefer the Sweet Peach, this palette, the smell, better than this one. Which I know a lot of people prefer this smell. I don't know. I'm kind of weird. Then the White Peach was my favorite of the two. Again, another unpopular opinion. A lot of people were saying that this shade was so hard to work with. And it is, but I can make it work. And I really do enjoy it. I use it more of a topper. But I like the light color story, the light shades. But here's that one. Alright, here's some more, oh, here's a lot more Kylie. Here's some Kylie. This was the 2016 holiday palette. This was, of course, a limited edition. Again, love the silver. Would 100% keep the palette just for the shimmer. But it doesn't really say holiday to me. I can kind of see it a little bit, like with the blue and the green, but the other shades kind of like, eh. Then I have my most used Kylie palette, which is the burgundy, those darker reds and browns. Definitely my most used of the Kylies. And now she is rebranded, so these are no longer available. Oh, then this is the Blue Honey. I didn't use this one that much. I don't know why. I wanted it so bad, and then when I got it, I'm like, I am not gonna use this. Like, what the heck? Weird. Mini Controversy, Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. Do love this color story. Has the blues, has the neutrals, the light colors. That mauvey kind of pink is gorgeous. So, this was also gifted to me by a friend. Huda Beauty Light. Love it. So good. 1,000 times would repurchase this. I think she did a great job with her light, medium, and rich palettes from this series. It's just so good. I love that palette. Then I have the Obsessions, which this is the Coral Obsessions. I've not even touched this. It is kind of new in my collection. I just have not touched it. Haven't used it yet. I wish there was more shimmers, but that's okay. Then I have the Mauve, which is more my speed, especially like that shade. Oh, it's pretty. Just gonna drop it everywhere, it's fine. Then I've got these four. The only one I'm missing is the Sapphire. I need to get the Sapphire. But this is the, can't open it. This is the Ruby. Also haven't touched this one yet, but that's the red one. The Topaz, which I don't know why I don't use this that much, but I don't know why. I've got bad habits of that. The Amethyst, which is the purples. She did such a good job with these. I love them. And then the Emerald, which is my favorite and definitely most used. The greens, I love the greens. Okay, so now you guys, I'm gonna have to figure out how to put all of these back in this drawer. Because I don't have room on my desk. So, pause for dramatic effect. I've got to figure out how to get these back in my drawer. And since I don't edit my videos, you guys, this may take just a minute. Oh. I love that white chocolate one. I wish people would agree with me. Oops. Oh, this is gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge. These Too Faced palettes, they stick together like nobody's business. I don't know why they made them like that. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, you guys. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna like put them all in here and just kind of like figure it out later. Which is a bad habit. Don't do that. It's okay. It's fine. Because like the next row, you guys, are like my bigger palettes, I think. Keyword, I think. Whoops. One of these days I'm gonna break one doing that. Okay. Yeah, so these are kind of bigger palettes. Kind of. Some of them are small. Just pile them up, Jamie. Just pile them up. I have so many palettes. Oh my god, you guys. Okay. Here we go. Jeffree Star Androgyny. That is what that looks like. This one and the Beauty Killer were the first two. The Beauty Killer was his first eyeshadow palette he ever created and one of my first eyeshadow palettes I ever purchased. And then Androgyny was the second. So I have two sisters, first releases. Love them. Jeffree Star, just great formula. Love him or hate him, the man knows how to do eyeshadow. Then I have some Anastasia palettes. This is the Modern Renaissance. This is like their best seller. And this was gifted to me by my stepmom, so I will never get rid of it. This is the only palette she's ever purchased for me. So it is special, and I will definitely keep that forever. Subculture, I love Subculture. Not even gonna lie. Shade Electric, I wish they made it in a single. It is my favorite shade from them ever. It is so good. I love that shade. Then Riviera, it's not really used. I mean, it's used, but it's not. I'm about to hit pan in that shade, but I don't reach for this one as much, which is weird because these are definitely my color story. Like, definitely my colors. I don't know why I don't reach for it. Then I have this Tetris and Ipsy palette, also gifted to me by a friend. So pigmented, so good. Wish they still sold it because it's pretty good. Then I have some ColourPop palettes. Alright, Little Ray of Sunshine. This is an all matte palette. And it has the yellows and the light browns. But it is all matte. Element of Surprise. Which that shade right there, oh, it's so pretty. Gorgeous. ColourPop just makes phenomenal products for a very affordable price. The Yes Please, which was their first palette and also my first palette from ColourPop. Which is that. The Zodiac, this was gifted to me by a subscriber. This is the Kathleen Lights and ColourPop Zodiac palette. Which is surprisingly a really good color story. Like, I figured it would be hard to do zodiac signs as eyeshadow, but she made it work. Then this is the Dream Street by Kathleen Lights. This was her first collab with ColourPop, which is very Kathleen Lights. Like, this color story is very much her. Alright. I've got a couple... Well, let's do this one first. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. This is the... What is this one? Bling Boss. This is the only one I have from this particular collab, which was the purples, which was, of course, my favorite, and definitely well used. Like, I'm about to hit pan in that one. I loved it. I really did. I know a lot of people did not like this one, but your girl did. Then I have a Morphe Artistry palette. That's all it says. And this is a glitter palette. So these are pressed glitters. e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders. I need to bring this out and use it. I've used it definitely, but I need to bring it out and use it more. It's just got a rainbow. It is the rainbow of e.l.f. I need to use that more. I really do. Then I have a couple Kat Von D palettes before she rebranded. This is the Kat Von D Metal Matte, which is gorgeous. I loved the Kat Von D formula. I really did. And then I will never get rid of this one. This is the Pastel Goth. This is very special to me. And that is what that looks like. I just love like the whole aesthetic of this. I just think it's gorgeous. Alright. I have the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. My dad gifted this to me. The only palette my dad has ever bought me. And, ooh, that's shiny. Can I do it this way? And it is another one of my favorites because my dad got it for me. And I don't use it because it's so expensive and I don't want to like go out and have to repurchase it if I run out or break it. Alright, BH Cosmetics Royal Affair. I decluttered this 4 or 5 times and somehow it just magically comes back in my collection. But I love the BH formula as well. It's really good. Alright. I got a bunch of Juvia's Place. Like, all of these are Juvia's Place. So I'll run through these really quickly. This is the Nubian 2. This is the bigger pan version of the Nubian. I like the bigger ones, honestly. I feel like you get more value. This is the Magic Mini. So this is the smaller pans that they make. I'm going to do it this side because that light's bright. The Afrique, which I love this artwork right here. The Deuce, which is my most used from Juvia's Place. Again, the bigger pans. This is the Zulu, which is probably my least favorite. I don't like the formula in their color mattes. But the shimmers are phenomenal. Move that. Alright, the Festival, which is a unique color story. It's more kind of dark, like with those colors. And then this is the Warrior, which is, I love this palette. I love this palette. Just the shimmers in this, and I love how it is mainly shimmers with the mattes. Just so good. Alright, Makeup Revolution. What is this? Forever Flawless Flamboyance. This is pink. I've used the other side. That is gorgeous. Alright then. Jawbreaker by Jeffree Star. This is a very colorful Jeffree Star palette. But the colors are so random. And I wish I had the strength to depot and put them in the order I'd like, but I just can't do that. Because I feel like I'd break it and I'd never be able to fix it. Alright, then one of my newest is the Jeffree Star Orgy palette. I can't open it. This is like heaven to me. This is all mattes, neutrals. From light to dark. One of my favorite Jeffree Star palettes. I know it looks like I haven't used it, but I promise I have. It's so good. This is like a makeup artist's dream, like seriously. Alright. We're getting down to the end, y'all. Okay, so I have 2 alien palettes. One of them was gifted by a friend. The other one was mine. But they are the same. This is the one my friend gifted to me. It is my favorite Jeffree Star palette that I own. I think the colors in here are very unique. I think that you would not be able to dupe a lot of these shades. Personal opinion, it's my favorite. It's my favorite Jeffree Star palette. It will always be my favorite Jeffree Star palette. And see, this one is mine. This one's a little more used. But I have 2 now, so I don't have to feel like, you know, something bad's gonna happen. I'm in my last drawer. Last drawer, you guys. We got this. So many eyeshadows. So many. These are my bigger palettes. Yeah, these are my, like, huge. Let's palette up. Good lord. Most of these are gonna be Morphe because Morphe makes those big ass freaking palettes. Okay. speaking on the Jeffree Star, let's continue. Jeffree Star Thirsty, another favorite. Wish he still made this. I love the color story. Very summer, which I really like. It's very, very summer, especially with those like corals on tops and the blues and the yellows. It's great. Alright, I'm going to try to keep with the Jeffree Star thing. No, I'm going to do Life of a Drag first. Life of a Drag Manny MUA. This is the only Manny and MUA palette I have. Love the neutrals. I haven't really played with the colors, if I'm going to be honest. The shade Beat right here, it was so weird, you guys. It looks like peach, and then it like turns orange on the lid, like orange. I used this for the first time and was like, oh my god, why is it orange? On the lid, it's orange. I don't know what to say. I don't know why it looks orange on me, but it does. Do I use it? Yeah, I still use it. It's good. Can't help it. Alright. Bloodlust, the purples. Packaging a little bulky, but I love the shimmer formula in this. It's more of like a wet consistency, and it's a lot easier to work with than a lot of other like shimmers. So, get a little closer. That is Bloodlust. Blood Sugar is the red and the pinks. I do wish that he had a deep red shimmer in this palette, but he didn't. There's really not a lot of shimmers. There's one, which is that gold. Still a good palette though, not complaining. And then the Morphe and Jeffree Star, which the only shade I had a problem with was the pressed gold glitter. Everything else performed wonderfully, and I do still use it. Even though you can't get it anymore, I do still use it. Alright. This palette. I have a love-hate relationship with this. This is the 24 Artist Pass palette. I do not like the glitters at all. Like this bottom row, I do not like the pressed glitters. I do not like that Spotlight Stellar shade. I don't like it at all. But these glitters, great. Mattes, great. But the glitter formula, I don't like it. It's just a love-hate relationship. It's a gorgeous palette. It's beautiful. I just don't like the glitters. I don't like it. I don't like it. We're almost done, you guys. This is probably my favorite. No, that's a lie. This is probably my second favorite Morphe palette. This is a 35i Icy Fantasy. This was limited edition. It is pastel. It is gorgeous. I even put this in one of my giveaways because I did love it so much, but it is limited edition and you would have to go to Poshmark or Mercari or something to find it. But it is gorgeous. It was unique and different from Morphe, and that's what I really loved about it, is it was something that I hadn't seen from them. Alright, last three. Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I do not have the first one, but this is definitely up my alley with the colors. The purples, the reds, the pinks, the neutrals, the two light colors. It's gorgeous. But this is the second one. I don't have the original Jaclyn Hill. I plan on purchasing it because everyone tells me to purchase it, but I haven't done it yet. Sorry. Next is the Morphe and James Charles palette. I just keep this because this is kind of like iconic. This broke the internet with the rainbow. The only shade I had troubles with was this purple shade. It did not look good on my eyeballs. And it was a pain in the patashki to try to get to stay on my eyeball. So, but it is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous palette. It is. It's wearable. Anyone can open this up and create a look with it, and that's what I really like. And the last palette, y'all, which is my favorite Morphe palette and probably will forever be my favorite Morphe palette, is the 39S Such a Gem, and this is a purple lover's dream. It's phenomenal. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. Middle row, it's got that great like squishy shimmer metallic-y formula which works and blends so well, and it's a purple and pink lover's dream. I love this palette. I don't have anything negative to say about this palette. Well, I guess the size. The size is a little obnoxious. It's bigger than my head. But it's great. So, there you go, guys. That is my entire eyeshadow palette collection. I don't know how many I have. I don't want to know how many I have. But it's a lot. So, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next video when I have 100 more palettes added to the collection. Bye, guys.